one quick question over here, and it's questions, not statements. Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Rödel. I have a question to the Norwegian colleague and to Mrs. Kennedy. What you are doing with the savings surplus, which exists nationally and globally, because this is the main device where speculation takes place and has a crowding out effect, maybe also to these alternative systems, which are really developed here, especially in the Norwegian case. I think this could be for some nation like Norway a solution, but in general, the savings surplus exists always because of the inequalities in the
Those statements, questions, thank you. We have another question. Please. We'll do 3 in succession. One more question here.
Yeah, hi, these are 2 points that
Trond
brought up about fixing the structure, and the question basically for Margaret. You talk about the Greek example where you would plug money into the government to essentially prime the pump. And I think Trond's point and my point would be that the structure is broken, and I think you have to fix the structure before you can plug money into it. At least you have to plug money into the economy at the right level. And I would say that would not be the government. It would be at a lower level, at a more direct level. And your local money speaks to that, but the Greek solution plugs money generally into a structure which is broken. And I just wonder if you could comment on that.
One more question. Here. And then me.
Got very interesting presentation. So I have one question to Margaret Kennedy. So in one of your slides, you're looking in one of your slides with other risk currencies, I think it was Austria or Switzerland, one of the results was that, if I recollect exactly, 13 months, there was a reduction of 35% of unemployment. Is that right? Yeah. So if this is correct, in the sense that it can be attributed to the alternative currency, if this is correct, then I have a problem that politicians wouldn't accept or refuse to such an introduction. There's no government, as far as I know in my lifetime, no government has succeeded in 30 months to reduce unemployment by 25%. So, you see, that would be the doubt expressed by the first speaker and the others, not the first, that there is such a resistance that there's almost no chance to be successful. But such an argument, if it is really fully proven to be attributed to the alternative currency, then I would, and governments supposed to know that, I cannot see that there would be resistance.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think we've got your question across. Thank you. Maybe you'd like. No, just do 3.
So let me try. What to do with the assets, right? My feeling was, until I talked to Mike the other night, that would take care of itself if they were not getting interest. If they had, the solution would be, if they have to be invested in the real economy, then you would get the Sharia basic model, that you would take part in the gains as well as in the losses. I think that is okay, because then you are linking the money system to the real growth and the real decline. that would be point number one. Secondly, I think that people who inherit a lot of money, they also tend to be much more generous with spending it, and so it would be, let's say, some part of it would be taken care of by just not. The only thing I'm trying to avoid is that there is an income from interest that is without work. That's the solution. But I guess that, Michael convinced me in talking to him, was it last night we talked, that he thinks the proportions are so out of any kind of normality now that is not possible. And I tend to agree with him, but that would mean that these assets, that they would have to go somehow. People will have to take a loss. To which extent is another question. In Germany after World War II, we had what we called Lastenausgleich, which means load balance. That meant that the people who came from the East and had lost everything, compared to the people who had stayed in the West and had kept everything, their houses, their property, and so on, that these people were burdened with costs that were being redistributed to those people who came from the East. And something like that, I think, could, if you understand right, that basically the system is as unfair as war, something like that. And then I did not quite understand your question, I'm sorry to say. So may I just go on to the Wörgl thing? You see, Wörgl was, I will ask you, Wörgl was a very specific case at a specific time, just before Hitler came into power. And people were sitting on the streets and absolutely having no work, having no bread. And the city government backed the 5,000 work certificates that they issued by 5,000 shillings in the bank. So the money was fully backed. And the people, they built a ski jump, they repaired bridges. It was basically spent through public works program, a little bit like the what's it called, the New Deal by Roosevelt. A very similar idea. The only difference was that the money they got had the stamp, the demurrage on it, 1% per month. And therefore, people, in order not to lose that money, immediately spent it when they got it out. And the town, what is the budget? Who has the guy who runs the town budget? He was surprised because they spent only 5,000 work certificates equal shillings into circulation. And within a month, they had 15,000 work certificates equal shillings back, because people immediately paid even their taxes in advance to get rid of that fee. So I'm not so sure if it had gone on for a longer time, whether the high percentage could have gone on. But it didn't go on for a longer time because the National Bank was jealous, because 120 communities wanted to imitate the model, and then they got really afraid. In Germany, I want to add this, the German central bank has not officially talked about the regional currencies, but from internal sources we know that they say, as long as it's under 5% of the money we issue, we don't care. And it was very important for them to look at our website, and when they saw all the social criteria for the regional currencies, they said, that's a totally different thing than what we are doing, So that was interesting. Now maybe you can then try to understand.
Okay. Basically, well, that was a good example of a work certificate. You're putting the money, you're injecting it exactly where it's needed, okay, at the local level. The example you had for Greece was that it was coming in at the top through a system that's effectively broken, and you're spending it through the government. And to me, that's like a trickle-down effect. Or in the American economy, when the recession hit, they were urging consumers to spend more. That's like giving them bullets to shoot more holes in the boat. And what you're doing at the local level is fixing the holes in the boat. And I think think that the solutions are very different, and we have to differentiate where the problem is in the structure and put the money there.
It is more a comment rather than a question.
Then agree the application of money in through the top.
Oh, I see. Now I understand. Yes.
Good question.
Well, it doesn't. You see, one doesn't exclude the other. I mean, the creation of a complementary currency at the national level would not preclude the local levels from also issuing their own monies. And now there are 3 examples in Europe: the city of Nantes, Ghent, and there's a third. I can't think of it right now. But this is the first time that complementary currencies come from central city governments. And the Ghent example, which Bernardine also initiated, is proving very successful. They are creating a real solution in those areas that are inhabited by migrants, because migrants can pay for having a piece of garden with the local money. And this is, I think, exactly what you're getting at, that you're trying to solve the problems in the local area through an additional means of liquidity. Is that right? Well, you see, they wouldn't have more money from the Greek government from the top, because they would have to back up the regional currencies with euros. So the money, the volume of money would not increase immediately, but the amount of circulation would increase, and thereby, by doubling the velocity, you double GDP. And therefore, there would be a better chance to create employment, to help the economy to really gain strength again.
I think we
Is-
can give
yeah, maybe we can talk
I think
about
we
it.
better talk offline,
Yes.
because there is a better solution that Irving Fisher had from the United States to give it directly to the consumers. But Tron wanted to make a comment.
Yes, just apropos to Margaret's remark about money velocity versus the stock of money, because there is a nice quote from Mikhail Kalecki, the Polish economist. Economics is the science of confusing stocks and flows. So, and that's very important. You can have a constant stock, but you can increase the flows immensely with leverage, which they did in the Yes. Okay. I'm not sure that I got all the questions right, but when people, what do we do with all sorts of savings or assets accumulating in the traditional or official money system? Well, I don't think that's our problem. The whole system is fucked, to use a popular expression, and it has to somehow collapse, or at least have a very big crisis. But I think that parallel currencies will help people in a crisis situation, and they will also increase the negotiation powers towards those who represent the established system, like I argued about Greece in my presentation. That said, I don't think that my proposal for what the Greek government could do will be listened to at all, because this is a political, ideological, psychological issue, and the elites that decide these things, they are completely embedded in granite in the way they think. So the way to go is NGO currencies. And then you only have only in quotation marks, the legal issues. So you have to find some clever way to circumvent the legal issues. So let's make national exchange clubs that you can be a member of, and you exchange points. You don't call it money or currency or whatever, and you can be a member of the exchange club.
And we ask our central banker for her views on this.
Sorry? Yeah, but I'll just conclude on this. And that is that I believe that for a really creative business person, this is also a very interesting business opportunity for all over the place. Also in Croatia, where you have 20% unemployment, you can do it everywhere. I am sad to say that I can't do it in Norway because people are sort of waiting around in Norway. It's not a crisis there, but many other places.
I don't have much to comment, but I think it's an interesting point is about call currency or points, because